Unstoppable Pursuit podcast where we're pushing the limits of business, life, and health. It's episode 52, and today we're talking about the 7 logistics for peaceful living. I'm Brian Benson. Next to me, he was once cast for The Bachelorette, but JoJo beat him out. Mike Stull.
Twice.
And he wrote a book called Dominate Your Day, and today he's going to dominate your day right now. I'm super excited. It's been a year, ladies and gentlemen. We've been on the air, in your cars, on your phones, in the airwaves, and we are very, very excited.
Okay, and I quote, "You will master one of life's greatest lessons if you stop focusing on the opinions of others and focus more on committing to your own emotional state and happiness. Your happiness comes from you, not others. Value and respect your emotions and keep them first in your life." And at the bottom it says, "For your action, based on this reality, I am going to." So you need to ask yourself, what are you going to do based off of this? Are you going to stop giving a shit about what other people think and really focus on what you want to do with your life? I highly suggest that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Mike. Well, check out his book. You can get it at michaelstull.com. It's a great book, daily devotional. You will appreciate it. This is sort of a deep topic for us. I mean, obviously, probably more in the life side of business, life, and health. And we're pretty excited to talk about it because for episode 52, our 1-year anniversary, happy anniversary, sweetie.
Thanks, babe.
We thought we would go a little deeper, and with kind of everything that's going on in the world and things that are happening, we think that I think that you should be at peace with yourself and what's going on in your life, no matter what, Yeah. So let's get right into it. Number 1 is make peace with your past.
I think it's funny that you brought up The Bachelorette because that's the first thing that comes to mind for me on this one.
Yeah.
Is for a long time there, I struggled with the fact that I had the opportunity to go on The Bachelorette twice, went through the entire casting process, got really excited, and started to see the potential of the exposure that I would receive and that my business would receive, And I said no the first time, I said no the second time, and for the longest time there, I really struggled holding on to that. And anything bad that happened to me, I was like, I should have went on The Bachelorette. I wouldn't be here right now if I went on The Bachelorette. Could be true, could be false, but I'm finally at a place now where, honestly, I don't even, watch it. I don't even check to see what's going on. You could bring up the current Bachelorette program or the season right now. I wouldn't know anything you're talking about.
Right.
I wouldn't know anything.
Got sent home. Okay.
I'm not in your online Facebook group. But it took me a while to come to that because... Yeah, and it took me a while to come to that because the thing is when you make decisions and then you struggle afterwards, it's really easy to go back and be like, damn, I wish I wouldn't have done that, or I wish I would have gone on the show. 11 million people were watching it. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. That's the easy thing to do. Naturally, most people would want to do that. And I did that for a while. But I'm honestly to the place now where I made the decisions, I have to live with them, I have to move forward, and instead of coming up with excuses, I now am more in a place of trying to find solutions and just taking action.
Yeah, I mean, you have to take extreme ownership and and you have to be at peace with what happened, because I truly believe, if I didn't go through what I had to in the past, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. Regardless if I'm successful or not, I'm pretty happy with who I am, just as a person. So I feel like I had to go through some of the things that I did, and maybe I forgive myself or I'm at peace with it. But I certainly hadn't had a moment like you. I don't think where I looked back at it and went, man, I blamed things on it, but I definitely always need to just be aware that what had happened before has helped me be who I am. So whether it was when I was a savage back in the day or whatever, it still helped me be a great person. I think I'm a great person, the person that I am today. So maybe I didn't have any of those defining moments, because I think really that was it was much different for you. Those were a couple opportunities that maybe could have rocketed you to the moon, but again, we don't know that, and so I don't know if I've ever really had those past opportunities. I think I've done some crazy things in the past, And I've had to just be at peace with it because it's like, okay, it happened. That's the way it is, and I gotta move on. So.
Yeah, I think, for the longest time I'd be driving in my truck and maybe I'd be upset or something and I'd be thinking, damn, I wonder if I would have gone on The Bachelorette if I'd have 500,000 people follow me on Instagram and I'd be able to monetize that. I mean, there's 50 million things I could think of. But honestly, I don't know what happened. Like, over the past probably year, it just kind of naturally went away.
Yeah.
Based on me just taking action on everything else and just accepting things as they are, but knowing that I want to change them. So, yeah, I mean, and it was so real, like going through the process of casting, meeting the producers, they're texting me. I can remember I was at Starbucks over at the River Chase Plaza down here, 41 in Vanderbilt, and I'm sitting there, it's 10 a.m., I'm doing some online training stuff, and I got an email from Carly Joe. Hey, Mike, we got your plane ticket, you're flying out of Southwest Florida on January 14th. When you get to the LA airport, we're just going to pick you up. Don't talk to anyone. We're going to take you to the hotel. Then you got to go through psychological counseling to make sure that you're a fit for the show. She goes, just stay in your hotel for 2 days until you hear from us, and then we're going to fly you back. So all this was becoming real, and I'm trying to get my business in line too, my website, get everything updated, because I'm like, when I do go on the show, I need to be ready when I get off and it airs to be able to handle the business. So I definitely have my moments where I'm like, damn, did I pass up on that? But again, I've made peace with that and I've moved on from it.
Yeah.
But that's a big example because most people are like, damn, The Bachelorette. But looking at it from a business perspective, it's different.
Yeah, I mean, and that's all you were looking at it as at the time, because it was like, dude, this could be massive exposure. I mean, I think you realize, deep down, it's like, I'm not trying to go find a wife right now.
No, and I thought to myself, you know what, what's the worst case scenario? I'm that guy that gets hammered drunk the first night. I go skinny dipping in the pool, and she's got to send me home, and I didn't even have any conversation with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, I that would have been me more likely than you.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think that, those are all valid things. I mean, I think, and the biggest thing is, like, we can't continue to live our lives staring into the rearview mirror and hoping that things would be different or saying those things. And, for you to come to peace with that is really important, and it shows that you're growing and shows that, look, like, you can't blame things on your past actions. You took those actions for a reason, at the time. It didn't fit with your morals or your values, or it just wasn't for you, or maybe you just did things because you were a savage like myself, I don't know, I'm not going to lie, like, I had a lot of fun, but maybe some things were mistakes, and but
you learned from it, though.
Well, okay, and I was just texting my buddy the other day, and I was saying to myself, I could have gone and played D1 soccer, could have done all this stuff, and all they said was, oh yeah, like, all you need is this on your ACT, and you can get in. And it's like, dude, I couldn't even get there, and I don't even want to say the number because it's basically like you got to put your fucking name on the damn test and you get that number. I just didn't care. I wasn't academic. And it was really tough for me. I was like, dude, but I'm really good at soccer. Like, so, but that's just
part of growing up, man.
Yeah,
going through your phases, growing up,
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of the process. You learn from it, you move on, and you don't make those mistakes anymore.
Yeah. Like, and I can't, and like, literally, if I sit around and think to myself, oh man, where would I be? If I were to sit here and say I regret not trying harder on my academics, I'd probably be more successful working for a sweet company or doing something great. Like,
Brian, I had a 3.9 cumulative GPA in college, and I'm sitting right next to you. Okay? So here we are. Look where it got me. Okay? I had 4.0s majority of the semesters, and I was magna cum laude. And here's Big Mike,
I know.
So
and it sucks.
There you go. I took that shit way too serious. I'm the exact opposite. I wish I would have had more fun in college.
I know. We should go back. Hey, we're coming back to the Berg, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
got 2 years of eligibility left for basketball, so I may get my master's or something. All right, next point. What others think you is none of your business. And this topic is a good one because when I read this, I think of two things. One, I'm getting better at not giving a damn what people think about me. I think that's a good thing. I watched a bunch of Gary Vee stuff over the weekend. I haven't watched a lot of his stuff in a long time. But I went on his Instagram, and he's got these really nice snippets that really were like speaking to me, I felt like. And a lot of it was him just talking about stop going out and asking for validation from other people, about being who you are and doing what you want to do. The flip side of that, though, is when you're running a business, you do kind of want to be concerned with what other people think of you because you're trying to reach them. You're trying to get them as a customer. You're trying to get them as a like, a viewer, a share, a download, subscriber, whatever. So it's like, you know, the hard part that I think we have found, or even myself, is finding that fine line of, I don't give a shit about you, but I hope you like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I want you to still download the podcast, but I don't want to change who I am to get your damn approval. So there's like this like line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And actually, you know, that's funny because I watched some Gary Vee stuff over the weekend too. Maybe we're both in like a weird space or something. But what I noticed was like, it's like you don't have to listen to anybody's opinion, but you can respect, and then you can continue doing what you need to do. So I think that's the thing. Is like, look, I respect everybody. I respect their opinions. I respect what they want to do. But literally, it's not going to take me off my game of what I'm going to accomplish and where I'm going in my life. I mean, I'm happy to listen, you know, to whatever you want to say, but that doesn't mean I have to like have feelings about it.
Yeah, and change who you are at the core of who you are.
Yeah.
Shouldn't change your integrity, your character, your morals, your goals.
Exactly.
You can maybe adjust your strategy to better reach and fill the need for that customer, but if you're not being who you are, then is that sustainable?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, we care so much about our community, but it's like Mike and I mean, we've already been said, oh yeah, try this, do something different, you know, but Mike and I are going to keep doing what we want to do and how we want to do it, and then we're not trying to be disrespectful to anybody by any means. We just love what we do. And this is a really good example because I interviewed this entrepreneur the other day who just got into Techstars, which is like freaking huge, right? They got 1.5 million in funding. I interviewed him the other day, and I said, "What are 3 characteristics of, you know, an entrepreneur?" And one of his characteristics was to be stubborn, to do what you feel is best for you, and continue moving forward. Sometimes, because he got turned down. He actually pitched Chris Sacca, got turned down. He pitched a lot of people that said, no, bad idea, stupid, but he stayed stubborn enough to say, look, it is a good idea, I'm fixing this problem, and here's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And now he got 1.5 million funding, they're building a team, and he got into Techstars. So I think staying a little stubborn and not caring what people think is actually huge.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, no, I agree. And it's funny, Gary Vee has that video where he's like on the Fuck You Monday video.
Yeah.
And he's like, you could have been a tree, a bus, a dog, but you're a human being, and the odds of that. And I thought, I feel better about myself, you know? Like, oh, I'm a human being. Like, I hit the lottery on that one, you know what I mean? So
yeah, it's 4 billion to 1, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what he says? So.
Yep. All right, so time heals almost everything, so give the time, just give some time, let some time pass by. For me personally, like, I mean, you know, for example, like relationships, like a breakup, like, you know, when you go through a breakup, dude, you feel like you'd rather like die if you can't be with that person. Yeah. And so from an outsider, like, let's say my mom giving me advice, she's like, Michael, trust me, you don't feel this way right now. Like for my girlfriend in first grade, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like, you don't feel this way right now, but trust me, like you're going to have a new girlfriend down the road, like in second grade, you know what I mean? And so I was doubling up, you know, I was 2 girlfriends second grade, 2 new girlfriends third grade. No, but for relationships, so like people go through hard times and they just feel like, you know, and I say, just give it some time. Give it some time. Right now you don't feel this way, but with time, you'll kind of get out of that mode and change your mindset, and you'll start doing things that provide happiness to you, you know? I mean, I wouldn't say time heals everything, because sometimes things will stick with you for a lifetime. You may not forget it, but just give it some time, things will get better.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes I don't let enough time go by. Sometimes I just want it to be better, like tomorrow. And I don't really realize.
But that's natural, though, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's natural for you. Anyone wants pain to go away. Who wants to endure pain?
Yeah, right.
You know? I mean, so, no, I don't think that's wrong of you, but I think the more mature version of you now understands that.
But even just
it's part of the
something
growth
that-
process,
yeah,
the
and just
adversity.
even something in like business or whatever, like I want to fix it, but sometimes I need to learn how to like take a breath, let a day or two pass, and then come back to that topic or idea, and I'll have a more clear head. I'll feel better about it, and time healed some of those painful things that happened right away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think the time is, like you said, it can heal. It can't. I don't think it can like. Sometimes things do stay with you for a lifetime, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure. But I think that let some time pass every so often, and allow your emotions and things to kind of settle down every so often. To just let it get out of your system, and then revisit some of those feelings and things, and try to just let some time go.
I think this is the hardest one though, because it also involves patience, and
Yeah.
patience is like the number one thing that
What's
everyone
patience?
sucks. Yeah, everyone sucks so bad at patience. That's the number one thing we all struggle with. That's a common denominator. So, patience and time, those are two things that if you can accept those and just try to work on that, I think that you will see an improvement. But when you're in the heat of things, it's really hard. But if you can remove yourself from the situation, take like 3 steps back, you have a much better view of it. You're taking the time to look at it. You're breathing. You're regathering yourself. You may be able to approach it much more effectively the next time.
Yeah, and that's and even my Therese, my wife, even said like she's got me back into meditation because she just said like my patience is running so thin, like I'm just not allowing things to come. So I'm back into meditation. Everybody, don't worry, I'm not gonna do what y'all think I'm gonna do. Is flip out.
Brian's one more tequila shot away from having a nervous meltdown.
Oh my God! All right, no one is the reason for your happiness except you yourself.
The first thing that comes to mind on this one is obviously like a breakup. I've had people that I know have gotten out of a relationship or something like that, and it like the previous point, it takes some time, but they feel like that person is the only way that they can be happy. And the more and more, and my mom used to talk to me about this, she's like, Michael, you need to find happiness yourself, you need to find joy yourself, you need to find all these things for yourself, and then when you meet the right person, they are going to add to your already state of happiness.
Yeah.
They're not going to be your happiness, they're going to add to it. Like you have to be happy within yourself. I know it sounds super corny, but that's something that I worked on. Like, dude, I'm married now, but when I met Lindsay, I was so fiercely independent and so happy by myself.
Yeah.
It was scary. She's like, you have your guard up. I'm like, I fucking love myself. I love my life. I love who I am. I'm the happiest I've ever been. So like, it took me a while, like I finally found a place where, I was at my old house by myself. I had my dream truck, whatever. I'm writing my book. Like, I didn't need someone else to make me happy.
Yeah.
So that's a prime example. But now she like adds tenfold to my happiness, but I had that before her too. And I think that's important, to work on yourself.
I agree, 100%. And that's how, like, Therese and I, we always talk about that same thing. It's like, if I'm not happy, like, nobody else in my life is going to be happy because I'm just going to be a freaking curmudgeon dick. You know what I mean? Like, So I have to find self-happiness, like, every day and work on that on a consistent basis. And I think that is really helpful. But if you aren't in love with yourself and you aren't super happy, then I'm sorry. I really, really have a strong belief that you will not make other people in your life happy.
Yeah.
It is what
it's
it
so
is.
True.
It's a harsh reality, but if you aren't happy with who you are, you can't make another damn person happy. So you better start working on yourself and put a lot of investment in yourself and make sure that you are the happiest you've ever been in your entire life so you can share that with others. But please, please do not neglect yourself for others. Personal happiness comes first.
I know, and it sounds so corny, but it is so true. If you place all your happiness on an individual and then they were gone, you're left with the weakest foundation ever, ready to crumble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the next point is something that I still struggle with to this day, but I have a little story about it, is don't compare your life with others. You have no idea about their journey. First off, I just want to say rest in peace to Chester Bennington, the lead singer of Linkin Park, because I grew up on Linkin Park. We used to listen to their music all the time. I still do. I got their station on Pandora, and he has such a unique voice, and it's so sad that at the age of 41 that he was, fighting with those demons and stuff. And I don't know what goes on in the head of someone like that. I've been around people that have struggled mentally like that, but it's so anyways, RIP. Gone but not forgotten. But as far as not comparing your life with others and having no idea about their journey, it's true. Like with Chester, like I know he was abused as a child, but like people would be like, man, he had a ton of money, millions and millions of records sold. I mean, his voice is so recognizable, like irreplaceable. Like it's hard to be Linkin Park without his unique voice. But no one probably understood what was going on behind closed doors. So like it's real easy to judge people, and I've had to take a step back and be like, we can't be so judgmental on people. We have no idea what they're going through. Like even the other day at lunch, I was with some coworkers, and the girl, a young girl, she was like super rude to us, dude. Like super rude at first watch. And like one of my coworkers was like, damn, like I'm not giving her a tip, this and that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm in a place right now where it's like, dude, maybe her boyfriend just broke up with her. Maybe her supervisor ripped her a new asshole when she got into work today. I don't know. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to tip her like an extra buck or two. And I did, because I'm like, I don't want to judge him just based off of that. I don't know. Maybe she lost a parent or something.
Right.
A grandparent. I don't know. But one story I wanted to say about this before, if you want to add your spin on it, is there's a few people's stuff that I look at on social media anymore. Very select few. As far as everyone else, I do not look at their stuff. I stopped doing that. I stopped looking at the IG stories. The Snapchats, I have not opened up Snapchat in probably over a month. Because I found myself comparing myself to other people's journeys. And I realized that I'm not 100% where I need to be. I'm not capable of completely blocking that out. And I struggle with that, so I'm like, I'm not even going to expose myself to that, because I need to focus on what I'm doing. I need to not watch everyone else's Snapchat stories and IG stories, and an hour later, I'm on the couch, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? I just spent an hour looking at other people's lives? What did I do before social media? I didn't look at these people's lives. I was doing my own shit, and I was more productive. So there's a select few people I do still check out their stuff for research, motivational purposes. They resonate with me. But I stopped looking at other people's shit. No offense, because it's like for our podcast, I want you to watch our videos, and I want you to download, rate, and subscribe. But only if like we resonate with you. Only if we're speaking to you and you want to support us, then by all means do so. But that has worked for me to stop doing that.
No, and I agree with you, and I actually had this conversation with this guy yesterday. We were talking, and he said, he's like, oh, you're going to sell your content? He's like, but what about guys like Gary Vee who put all this content out for free? I said 99.9% of Gary Vee listeners are wantrepreneurs. They're not entrepreneurs. And I said, I am an educational resource ecosystem for entrepreneurs. I want entrepreneurs. I'm not just trying to grab anybody's attention who needs motivation. I'm actually trying to add educational value to their lives. And I mean, hey, no offense. I mean, hey, you know what? Gary Vee's for certain people. He's, but that's somebody who I don't really watch anymore. He's coached himself out of a job for me. You know what I mean? And as far as I got a kind of a personal story. When I was in high school, I was just a little shit, to be honest with you, and one of the teachers got really pissed at me, and I got really pissed back at her, and I told her to F off, and we got in this big fight. She never came back to school the next day. She got really mad at me for it just wasn't a crazy reason, in my opinion. I guess we were running around being a little bit wild, but she got really pissed at me and kind of said some rude things like, your parents should be ashamed of you. And I said, you don't know my parents and all this stuff. Next thing I know, she didn't come back to school for the rest of the year. And my soccer coach approached me like 2 weeks later and was like, hey, by the way, when you said all those things to this person, her dad had just died like 2 weeks before.
Damn.
and I had no idea. And clearly I set something off in her that frustrated her, and she was taking it out on me, and that happened.
It's just a bad situation all
around.
around. And you're in the heat of the moment, and you say things that you truly don't mean.
And it was effed up, and I feel really bad, and but that's the part of this line here that says, you have no idea what their journey is, and you just got to be cool about that and have more self-awareness. When you see somebody in line at the grocery store who's taking forever and you're getting really pissed off because you want to be somewhere, and that person is fuddling around with their stuff and they can't find everything, but you don't know what happened right before that. They could have gone through a breakup, they could have lost a family member, something could have happened to them where they're flustered, or they're having a bad day too.
Yeah.
So just have some compassion, have some empathy for people, and just have some self-awareness about who you are and what's going on around you, and realize that maybe you're not the most important fucking person in the world, and that's my thing on that. But also, definitely don't compare yourself to anybody else. Who cares what anybody else is doing? And that's kind of what we'll sort of talk about a little late, I think. But everybody's journey is the same. You can't look at somebody else. We got a lot of friends that are really successful, that got really successful in the first couple years in business, and you and I are still sitting there going, why the hell aren't we super successful? Right. But that was their time. That was their turn. It was, and you just got to keep, but you can't compare yourself, because we're on our own journey to success. And you know what? If it takes us a few more years longer, it is what it is. You just got to keep going, and you got to keep trying, and you got to keep doing. But you can't look at somebody else and say, well, why did they do it? I hate that line. Oh, well, everybody else is doing it. It's
right.
Who gives a shit what anybody else is doing?
I know. It's the old saying. Our parents always said, so-and-so jumps off a cliff. Are you going to jump off a cliff? How many times have we heard that? But it's true.
I'm going to be that parent.
I know. Dude, trust me. I'm slowly taking form of both of my parents. I can totally tell. I was at the stoplight the other day, and some kid pulled up, dude, and he had system bumping.
I know.
Dude, I got so annoyed. I'm like,
turn that down.
Yeah, I'm like, that is so obnoxious, bro. But I was that. I had a system, dude, that probably would rattle people's going through the neighborhood, probably rattle the pictures off the wall. I was him, and now I'm getting old where I don't like the loud music and stuff.
Dude, I used to pull up. Speaking of Linkin Park or punk music, dude, windows down, fucking punk, Newfound Glory, something just blazing loud, just so loud. I'd be right next to the person at the red light, just didn't care what they were doing. And they look so mad at me, but now when someone pulls up, I'm like, hey,
I got a baby in the back. He's trying to sleep.
Can you turn that shit down?
It is true, though, man.
God,
it is true.
Getting into our parents slowly.
Yep. All right. So we're getting on the last 2 points here. Stop thinking too much. It's all right not to know all the answers. Obviously, this is something that probably most people tend to struggle with. But I would say, for me personally, being OCD tendency, not full blown, but OCD tendency, and more of a perfectionist, it's hard to not overanalyze things. My mom used to come down pretty hard on me and about me overanalyzing situations and just digging too deep into things growing up. And so I've had to kind of take it back. Again, it's about finding the balance, though, because if you have a business or goals, health and wellness goals, and you're in the gym and you're not getting into shape, and you need to definitely overanalyze your eating in your exercise routine and dig deep and figure out, well, am I eating too many carbohydrates? Am I not exercising with enough intensity? It's good to analyze things and evaluate, but it gets to the point where you could probably overdo that so much to the point that you're not taking action.
Yeah.
You're just talking about it, overanalyzing. That's a great strategy, but you've been overanalyzing for 5 days, Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny.
Johnny, don't even look at me wrong. If you even breathe on me, Johnny, you're going to get a backhand.
I'm not liking Johnny. No, Mike hates Johnny. Analysis by paralysis, right? That's what they say. You can't overthink shit. And you know what? This is what I used to do all the time. I used to be in the insurance business for 6 years, and I used to walk around like, if I say the wrong thing, people are going to think I'm stupid and not know and think that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Now, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, let's go play a round of golf, and I'll get you to sign up for $100,000
there we go.
deal.
I mean, that's the reality of the situation. Is like, don't think too much. Like people, this is it. People don't care how much you know. They just want to know how much you care. You know what I mean? And if you tell
That's
that
a good
person,
way.
hey,
Good
look,
point.
I don't know the answer to this, but I will find it for you, and you respond to them promptly and get back to them immediately, dude, you've already built rapport with them. They say, oh, he cared enough to go find the answer for me and get it. But don't act like you fucking know the answer. Like, we don't all know the right answer. We have no idea what it is. So we gotta,
Some people can bullshit their way through
smell
things.
bullshit though, dude.
But
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yep, and then your guard goes up. And
bullshit only goes so far. You know what I mean? It can only go so far. I have seen that. I agree. I have friends who have been pretty successful at bullshitting for a long time. But damn, dude, it does only go so far.
I got an example because we went to try to trade in our vehicles the other day and get some different vehicles. And so I went online and I'm looking around and everything. I saw the MSRP on something, and but you could enter in all your information and click and get the internet price, right?
Yeah.
So I did it. I got the internet price. It magically dropped like $3,000. So I'm actually texting with the salesperson at the dealership throughout the day. And they came back with a number, and I said, I just got the internet number. And the person was like, well, where'd you get that number? Were you on our site or another site? I'm like, dude, cut the bullshit. I'm like, I was on your site. The form's on your site. The form was next to the picture of the vehicle I was looking at. I entered it, man. It went down $2,000. I screenshot it. I sent a text over to the person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, enough with the bullshit. Like, now my guard's up. Now I'm pissed off. I'm irritated. I'm annoyed. Just be a straight shooter with things. Don't sound like a used car salesman. Again, I think that's great that you said that about people don't want to know how much you know. They want to know how much you care.
Yeah.
Like you always say, out caring people,
Yeah, I mean, but that's the truth. And obviously this guy's looking for a sale, and it's a bunch of horse pucky, so.
I think this is a great last one to end out this segment on. Given everything that we talked about, and a lot of people may be in a negative frame of mind or going through some tough times, but the last one is that you need to smile. You don't own all the problems in the world. And Brian had mentioned before we went live on this particular segment, he's like, man, I was scrolling through Facebook, and he's like, I'll just tell you, I think some people have it a lot worse than what we have it. And that kind of resonated with me because everyone gets down and out on things and goes through tough times. Seasons come and go, you learn from them. But again, when you think that a lot of people would love to have your problems, you're like, damn, when you put it that way,
yeah.
I'm able to shower, I got clothes, I got a vehicle, I have food, I have a roof over my head, a wife, you got a kid, you got a house, you got family, you're Naples, Florida, there's palm trees. I could name off 100 different things that somebody probably doesn't even have any of those 100.
Yeah. And that's the attitude of gratitude, and it really, and Mike and I, honestly, like, we have not been going through a great time recently, and I'll just be very straightforward on that. It's like Mike and I have both been in sort of a funk, but that is what it is, it's part of life, and, everybody glorifies things on social media. Everybody says how awesome their life is and how great things are, and blah, blah, but that may be a certain moment in their life. Like, you don't know what the other moments that they're having are. And I read this moment of somebody who is having a bad moment on Facebook, and I was reading through this long post, and I thought, shit, man, you think we got problems? That ain't... that they have worse issues than we do, and you really have to look at that sometimes and just understand that, sometimes, even though you think you're in the worst possible position, there's people that would be willing to give their lives to be in your shoes.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just be grateful, be happy, and realize that you have a lot to offer the world, and you shouldn't shouldn't worry about all that other stuff. So
Right
anyway,
on.
keep smiling. Actually, I sent Mike this. I said, Mike, I've been listening to this anxiety release on calm.com because I've just been having anxiety out the ass lately. And the whole thing is like, sit back, close your eyes, and smile. And so I'm driving in my car.
You're at 10 and 2 on the wheel.
Yeah, I'm 10 and 2, but I got my eyes open. My eyes are open, but I got this ridiculous joker.
There was a 911 call. I saw a passerby said that some guy's like on LSD or something. He's tripping in his car. I don't know his face, officer.
Fine. Don't worry about me. Oh, lordy, lordy. All right. Anyway, so I guess, I'm just going to stick with that theme for the challenge today. And all I want people to do is to smile. Take a second in your day. Your challenge this week is to take a moment in your life and just close your eyes and smile. I can guarantee you it'll change the endorphins in your brain. It'll help you release anxiety. It will help you release any stress. Take a second to just understand it, that the things in your life, be grateful for them. Understand that you're in a good place. Think of all the things that Mike and I just talked about, all the things that could be in your life. You may have a pet, you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, you have a house, you can drink water, you can fucking breathe. Some people can't,
Yeah.
And I just want you guys to smile a little bit, because believe it or not, somebody actually that I just heard of recently, a friend, somebody that I interviewed that I was really close to, just had a stroke. They were really healthy and they had a stroke, and now this person, they can't eat on their own, they can't walk and they can't talk, and they have to relearn all these things. And it was really hurtful and sad to hear that happened to this person.
Yeah.
And you have to realize that, dude, if you can walk and you can talk and you can eat, he would be willing to change his life. He would spend all his money, and he's a wealthy individual, to be in your shoes. I guarantee it.
Without your health, you have no wealth. Now, some things are out of our circumstances, like this particular individual, but pay attention to your health.
Yep.
For sure. Turn that frown upside down.
Smile.
So, this seems very basic, but for me, I'll go long periods of time where I don't eat and I become famished, and then I go home and I just binge, and your stomach the signal sent to your brain is not going quick enough. So then you overeat and you get bloated as shit. When I go to tacos and tequila, I do the same damn thing, man. I eat the chips and salsa way too fast, and I order my 4 tacos, and I'm bloated by the second taco because I outdid myself. I didn't pace myself.
Because you probably didn't eat all day because you go, I'm going tacos.
Exactly, and you want to go hard. So this tip is to take your time when you're eating. Chew your food slowly and drink your beverages slowly. This will allow your stomach the proper time to send a signal to your brain that you are getting full, and you'll probably eat less calories and lose some weight. So don't outpace your stomach. Take your time and enjoy your food slowly. Think about how it tastes, the texture, all that good stuff. This will prevent you from feeling bloated after a meal from overeating. And at the bottom it says, to dominate today, I will say no to the status quo. So, so just make sure you don't allow yourself to get famished, and just chew a little bit slower. Our stomach, it has all the acids and everything to break down the food and to, get all the nutrients and stuff like that. But if you think about it, the more you chew your food productively, the easier it is for your stomach to have to break everything down, because it's already broken down from your teeth.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I know it sounds simple, but it's true. Just slow down a little bit.
Here's a tip. My grandfather does this literally, and we always sit at dinner and we sit there and we look over at him. We're already scarfing down desserts or stuff in our pie holes. He's still on his main meal. He puts his fork down after every bite.
That's interesting.
And then picks it back up.
Yeah.
Next bite, fork down. It slows him down. It allows him to process, eat the food. I don't know. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't work. But get the damn fork out of your hand. Stop stuffing your pie hole, and take 2 seconds to breathe and enjoy it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Or tell yourself, every every spoonful or forkful, say you're going to do 5 chews.
Yeah, right.
Or
count
like,
the chews
you know,
or
8
something,
chews
yeah.
or something. I mean, and then eventually you won't have to count. It'll just become like second nature. I mean, like, as much as I love the root beer barbecue taco with the jalapeno slaw,
Oh, yeah,
that's my favorite. I want to eat it in 2 bites. I really try to just savor that taste, man.
I know.
You know,
I get that cheeseburger
ice cold
taco,
Corona.
Man. I know it's like the most American
That's the
thing
most
you can
basic
get,
one
but-
there too. And,
Shit, I love
and you
that
get
cheeseburger
you probably get
taco.
the mom's taco too, with just the
No,
ground beef.
No. I get the backyard barbecue. That thing
That's
is
good.
so
But the root
good.
beer barbecue I think is better.
I'll try that one. I'll have to try
It's usually
that.
a special.
All right, I'll
I
try
get the
that.
signature taco. Anyways,
Yeah, we're talking about the tacos. All right, ladies
we're
and
hungry.
gentlemen. Hey, it's been a year. Mike and I have been doing this for a year solid. For 52 weeks, we have put out an episode, and we couldn't be more grateful and excited and happy to see where this next year takes us. So thank you all for your ears, your eyes, your downloads, your subscribes, your reviews, your likes, your comments, and your shares. It really means the world to us. Mike and I, you know, we're still building this thing, and we're still going to have a hell of a lot to go, and we have a lot of fun doing it, but we've done this consistently for a year, and if Mike and I can do something consistently for a year, I can bet you $1 billion you can do the same damn thing. So get out there and do it. We love you. We care about you. Check us out. Check our website out. We just put out another. We had a special episode that launched today. Was how to start a podcast. So my throat's going. Love you. Care about you, and we'll see you all on the next episode.